Hello, I am Ami Kapadia, and in today's session we are going to learn how to use .NET MVC with Razor and with Kendo UI. Okay, so let's start a new project. MVC for web application. Its name is Demo 3. Then Razor View Engine. Okay, it is creating a project for us. Okay, so this is our solution explorer. Here empty controller, empty models, and in view there is one shared folder. Okay, so today I am also going to teach you about a master page concept in Razor views. Okay, so we all know that master page are used for a centralized view for our application. Like if we want like there should be one header, there should be one footer, right, and they all in the same manner throughout our application, then we will use our master page concept. Okay, so whatever master page we want to use, either ASPX or CSHTML, we have to put it into the shared folder. Okay, here in the view there is a one shared folder, and in this shared folder there are all the views that are common. Means for if we are error handling, then there will be one page that error.cshtml. Means if you have any error, any server side error on your any page, then it will be redirected to this page. Okay, and this layout.cshtml is one type of master page of Razor views. Okay, so I am showing you this layout.cshtml. Okay, it is having all Razor syntax. You can see here @ symbols. @ means it's a Razor syntax. Okay. Okay. So I am creating one controller. Add controller. And controller's name will be user, as our previous example was just about user controller. So I'm creating same controller, user controller. Add, and here instead of index I want home view. Okay, so we know that we have to create here one folder that is user folder and one view that is home view. User, and now okay, now I'm creating one view. Okay, and its name will be home. Okay, till now we are clear. But what if we want to create a view inside the master page? Like for example, if you are using different technologies like PHP or simple HTML, then you will create one master page first, right? And in that master page, what we will have header and footer that are same for entire application or entire our one role model. Like if you are using admin side and user side, then we will have two different master pages, one for admin, one for user. Okay, so the master page concept is it will repeat its action in the all views that we will create under that master page. Okay, so now here I have to create one view under the layout master page. So for that, what I have to do, add view, and you can see here use a layout or master page. Here you can select any .cshtml or .aspx page. Okay, currently I am using this layout.cshtml, which is already created when I created the application for MVC4 framework. Okay, so I am selecting this and pressing OK button. So here views shared and underscore layout.cshtml will be our master page. Okay, I am clicking on add. Oh, sorry. I did not rename the view. I have to delete it because our view's name should be home, right? So again I am doing it, add view. Here first I am giving it a name home. Here layout.cshtml and add. Okay, so home view is our created. So here there is one h2 tag with home. Okay. Okay, now I am doing some coding in layout.cshtml. Okay. Okay. Here you can see a render body function. Can you see it? Render body. Render body will render the views into this place. Okay. Okay, so I am just creating one header here, h1 header, and under the render body I am creating another h1 for footer. And what will be here between header and footer is the all the content that present on the view, like here home. Okay, I am saving it and I am running the application. Okay, what page we have to open here is /user/home. Okay, can you see here? First it prompt header. Why? Because it is the first line of our master page. This is header. Okay, then second line is home. Why? Because second line is over here at the rate render body function. Render body will render entire body from its child view. Okay, you know that we cannot directly run the master page. Okay, here I cannot write like layout.cshtml. No, master page itself could not be run, right? Because master page must have one child page, and that child page will be run on the browser. So here our child page is home.cshtml of the master page layout.cshtml. Okay, so what this render body will do for home.cshtml, it will render entire body of the home.cshtml here after header and before footer. Okay, so this home appeared. Okay, home appeared after header. And what is the last line? This is footer. It comes from here. Okay, h1 footer. If I put this render body before header, then what it will do, it will prompt home first, then header and then footer. Got it? So render body should be appear after header and before footer. So the body of home.cshtml will be the center point of our application. Okay. Okay, now you can see here viewback.title. We discussed viewback in our previous videos, that whatever content we want to use from controller, that we will put in the controller's viewback, and that viewback will be accessible into our view. Okay. So if you will put any title in the viewback, and you can use it here, but right now I don't want to use it, so I'm just omitting it. Okay, and what else? Okay, in this video we will use Kendo UI. Okay, so I have to put Kendo UI folder in my project. Okay, so I have downloaded Kendo UI theme here. So I'm just copying it and pasting it in our project directly in the root directory. Like I just paste it here. Can you see the Kendo UI folder is here now? It is in the root directory. Okay, it has three main folders: JS, style and styles. And we will use only one JS file and one kendo.common.mean.js. Okay, we will use two files, one JS and one CSS. Okay, and how I can include it into my project. Okay, so now we know that we have to use some kind of master page for our admin and one master page for our user. Okay, so we want this Kendo UI theme in all entire our user site. So what we will do is we will create one master page for our user site. Suppose this layout.cshtml is the master page for our user site. Okay, so whatever we have to include files like .js file, .css file, we will include in our master page, and it will be automatically included in all the children's we will create for this master page. All means all the views, right? Whatever views we will create here, like if I will create one another view user, and in that suppose index.cshtml with the master page this layout.cshtml, then it will also add that js and css into that view also. Okay, so what we have to do is we just have to include all the files into the master page, not in all the children. Okay, so we have to include it only once into the master page. And how we will include it, like you can see here styles.render. So all the css files we can include using this @styles.render, and what we have to do here is Kendo UI slash styles, means we have to go to style folder, style, and then kendo.common.main.css. okay, kendo.common. Or you can use this metro one. Metro one is the theme, I will show you it. metro.main.css. okay, kendo.metro.main.css. okay, perfect. And another we have to include here the script file, js file. So for that we have to write scripts.render. okay, and which script? jQuery as well as kendo.all.main.js. so here Kendo UI slash js slash jQuery dot main.js, and one more file to render, that is kendo.all.main.js. okay, I have shared this Kendo UI folder zip with you all. You can download it on their website also. okay, so kendo.all.main.js and kendo.jQuery.main.js. okay, so we have included all these three files. So this sections we don't need it right now, so I'm just removing it. So this is our final master page. okay, and this is our child view page. This is our controller. okay, so now today I am going to teach you how to add grid of Kendo UI into our view. okay, so for that I am creating models, add one class. okay, before adding one class I will tell you that what we have to do is we have to make one folder here for database classes. Like we will create class for each and every table of the database. okay, and we will put all those classes into this folder name database classes. okay, and suppose there is one user table, so for that I will add a class with name db underscore user. okay, you have to follow this naming convention, that you will have one folder called database classes into the models, and in that folder you will create all the classes for different tables with this kind of names. Like if you are having student table, then db underscore student. okay, db underscore I'm adding db underscore user. Suppose there is one user table in our database, for that I am creating one class into the database classes. okay, so this class is added, and here what we have to do, we just have to write all the column names, and we have to create each and every columns of one property per each and every columns. Like suppose there are two columns, id and name, so we can create here two properties, id and name. public int id and public string name. Okay, so our database class is ready. Now I am creating model directly into the model section. Add one model class and that class name will be user model, user model, or only user. Okay, user.cs, that's it. Okay, here we will use the same pattern which we used last time. We will create the list of what? List of this DB user. Okay, so here I have to write DB underscore user. Currently it is not there. We have to import its namespace using demo3 model database classes. Okay, and I am giving it the name lst. That's it. And in the constructor we will initiate this lst. lst is equals to new list of DB user, and then we will add lst one by one objects into this lst. Okay, for adding one by one object we also have to use here constructor of this class, public DB underscore user, and I am passing two parameters here, string and I'm just whatever we are passing here, I am just copying it into this properties. So id is equals to I and name is equals to n. That's it. This is parameterized constructor we learned into the OOP session. Okay, now I am using this into this, like lst dot add. What we have to add? New object of DB user. New DB user, and here what I have to pass? Int I and string n, means 1 comma ami, like this, semicolon. Okay, like this we can add 2-3 objects into our list. What you have to do here is fetch data from database and display it. Okay, you don't have to do like this. Okay, so I have added 4 records into the lst. Okay, now I am creating one public method. Public, what it is returning? List of DB user, get users, and it is simply returning lst. That's it. Okay. Okay, now we are moving to our controller, home controller. Okay, I am creating one more action result method here, that is public action result fetch data. Okay, here I am creating the object of user model, user obj is equals to new user. I have to include its namespace. Okay, and one more thing I have to create here is list of DB user. We have to import this also. lst is equals to obj dot get users. Okay, these all things we have already done here. And here what I have to return? I have to return this lst in JSON format. Okay, I will use this fetch data from our Kendo UI grid view. Okay, so I have to return here JSON of LST, comma, request behavior dot allow get, like this. This is the format how we can return the JSON to our any of the page, any of the view. Okay, and how we will call this fetch data? How we will call? Using this user controller, means user slash fetch data, like this, fetch data. Okay, like this we will call this method. Okay, so now moving to our view. Okay, so this user model is clear, DB user is clear, user controller is clear. Now we are going to home.cshtml, that is our view. Okay, so after this home, what I will do, I will create one div id is equals to, I will give it one id like grid1. Okay, and what we will do for Candor UI, we just have to make one div, and in that using that div's id, we will create the grid view or any view of the Candor UI. Okay, so for this, here script tag document dot ready here dollar hash grid1. Okay, okay, now I am showing you how we will create the Candor UI grid. Okay, this is the example of Candor UI grid. Can you see it? It has so many functionalities like pagination, then how many records per page. So there are so many functionalities in the grid is available for us. This is the Candor UI simple grid. Okay, and this is the code for generating this kind of grid. Okay, so first of all, what we have to do is we have to create one div with id grid, so we can access it like this. Okay, I am just copying this much portion. Okay, and I'm pasting it in our demo. Grid1, our id is grid1. Okay, okay, now transport, that's it, then data source, then data grid. Okay, that's it. Okay, now what we are reading is here. I am removing all the URL of Candor UI, and I am pasting here our URL, that is slash user slash fetch data. That's it. Let me check. Fetch data, yeah, perfect. Yeah. Okay, so this is our reading URL. So it will go to user controller. It will go to this fetch data action result method. It will fetch the JSON list from here to here. Okay, inside the grid. And what type should be? Type should be JSON. Okay, why? Because we are returning here JSON data. Okay, there is one more option. You can return XML of your list. Okay, at that time what will be here is O data. Like previously it was O data, right? O data is for XML data type, and JSON is for JSON data type. Okay, so now testing this much portion. Which URL we have to open? User slash home. Okay, can you see the grid is appeared here with this green kind of that is the metro thing. Green theme is the metro theme. There are so many themes out there on the Kendo UI website. You can check it and you can download according to your choice. Okay, so this is the grid. I can give the height and width there to look it more clear. Style is equals to height 200 pixel, width 100%. And we can give width for individual columns as well. Okay, no change. We can give width for individual columns. There are so many properties out there. Okay, this is the height of grid. Okay, these are the columns. Okay, sorry. Okay, you can see here width. Okay, you can create these columns for different kind of styles. Okay, I'm just showing you one thing. After the data source, put a comma and paste for columns. Sorry. Okay, like this. Template, we will learn it later. Okay, field. First field is our ID. So here user ID and its width is 240, that's okay. And another column is name. So another field is name. Here user name. It is title, means it will display it on the top. And width 500. Here I have to close this square bracket of columns. Okay, let's check. Oh, sorry, this is different project. This is our project. Okay. User ID, this is the title, right? Okay, same way we can give so many CSS here, like height. Yeah, you can check all these things here. Okay, so this was our basic demo. Okay, what is the template for column? I will show it you. Okay, here, like here 1 2 3 4, I want to show it this 1 2 3 4 in different manner. Then I have to use the template like this template, and wherever I want to show the ID, I have to just put it like this. Here template in double quotes. Okay, here you can perform anything like paragraph tag or any tag you want to use. What I will use is, okay, instead of this 1 2 3 4, I want to write there user number, then 1 2 3 4. Okay, so user, then number dot, and then here hash colon ID hash. Okay, this is also inside the double quotes like this. Okay, let's check. Like this. Okay, user number 1, user number 2, like this. If you want to change the format of your data, then you have to use the template inside the columns. Okay, and I can use here different tags as well, like center, right? So the data is in the center. Same way you can format your this username by using template column double quotes comma, and suppose you want it in the center and in the uppercase. So for the center uppercase there is a tag for uppercase, I don't remember. Okay, suppose you want it into the H1 center and here name. Okay, what what should be here is, here you have to write the column name properly. Like there are two columns in our data, one is id and one is name. So you have to write here proper name of the column, then only it will display the content of that particular column. Okay, let's check. Okay, so this is h1 tab. This is because of h1 tab. So we have to increase its height, like 500 pixels. Okay, so this is our header, this is our view, and this is our footer. Okay, I hope you get the everything from the video. What we just learned, we learned how to create a master page, then how to create a view for that particular master page, then Kendo UI, you have to include the CSS and JS files of Kendo UI into the master page, and then Kendo UI grid from database class. Okay, okay, so see you in the next video. Bye bye.